next, could your diet be doing more harm than good? We're talking toxic triggers with Alejandro Junger next. Stay with us. I have a lot to learn here. This is gonna be Here to help us clean out our guts and identify toxic triggers in our life is Goop medical advisor and best-selling author Dr. Alejandro Junger. Welcome to the show. Okay, so first off, I need you to explain to me exactly what toxic triggers means.
So toxic triggers are foods that, in one way or another, hinder your detoxification systems or cause some kind of problem. An allergy, food sensitivity,
digestion?
An autoimmune problem, heavy digestion, constipation, anything that really decreases the function of your digestion and many other things can be a toxic trigger.
So the idea is that we've been probably consuming a lot of these regularly. What are some normal, everyday toxic triggers in food?
So there's two types of toxic triggers. One's in which the food itself is a toxic trigger, like gluten, for example, or coffee, which in excess can exhaust your adrenals.
What's
right?
coffee in excess?
Yes, that's a great question.
Let's just clarify what that means exactly.
I have it every day.
Once a day? Or
well, you can look at it this way. If you need coffee in order to function, you're doing it too much.
Okay, well, Morgan's got a problem.
We all got a problem here. So the gluten-free thing is not a fad. That's a real thing. It's definitely...
It is a real thing, but it's still confusing because it is a real thing in America, but people that are severely allergic or react in a strong way to gluten in America go to Europe and have bread and pasta and have no problem whatsoever.
All the time, and you're thinner than when you leave or when you get there. Is that because it's not processed there?
That's probably because it's not GMO there. GMOs are forbidden in Europe.
I want to make that happen in the United States.
Well, if we can't move to Europe, what do you suggest we do?
Yes.
Well, the thing that I suggest everybody does is eliminate all the toxic triggers for at least 2 weeks and then reintroduce one at a time in an orderly fashion so that you can observe how your body responds to each one of the possible toxic triggers.
So basically, if you're someone who feels sluggish or feels a certain way, there's a good chance that you're thinking through this elimination diet, possibly you can figure out what's making you feel that way. It may be something you're eating every day and not even realizing it.
It may be just that, or it may be something else, but it is a really good way to start to identify your toxic triggers, whether it's through just an elimination diet or through a detox program.
Mm-hmm. The clean program?
Yeah, that's a
that's a good one right here.
One, yeah.
That's a well-designed one. Okay, so food that toxic triggers, pasta, sugar, coffee. What is good for cleaning out the gut?
The big toxic triggers are dairy, gluten, alcohol, coffee,
right.
and sugar.
I am triggering.
Those are the
so that latte in the morning,
ones.
is it?
I was more focused on the alcohol.
Yeah, that too. Okay, so what do we do next? What foods help our gut?
Is this a good area of food right here?
Yes.
So the best foods for us to eat are whole foods, things that you find in nature, just like your great-great-grandmother would have found. Because if she went to the supermarket today, she wouldn't recognize 90% of everything we buy is in cans, in tubes, in jars, in bags, right? And in order to be in these kind of containers, they have to have preservatives and conservatives and coloring agents and smelling agents and texturizing agents. It's full of chemicals. So you have to, the good foods are the whole foods, which are free of chemicals, so organic, if possible.
Organic greens primarily, or does it go for organic fruits, vegetables?
Greens are the royal family of vegetables, right? But most vegetables are really good.
Okay, most vegetables. All right. So let's move on to medicines really quick. So what is a medicine that's a toxic trigger, and what medicine should we be taking?
And what's this?
So, we talk about a lot about global warming, right? And they call it an inconvenient truth. I talk about another inconvenient truth, which is what's the cause of this fever that the planet has. And in my opinion, it's the global toxicity. It's the fact that the air we breathe, the water we drink and shower with, the medications we use, the cosmetics we use, but the food mostly that we eat is full of toxic chemicals. And these chemicals that are put there for our convenience, to preserve, to make it look good, to make it taste good, they can be toxic in a really serious way, right? And It happens in food, it happens with cosmetics, it happens with so many things. And then you get sick and you go take your medications, and your medications are full of toxic chemicals as well. Medications usually have only 10% of their content, which is the active ingredient. Everything else are fillers and binders and dyes and all kinds of, and preservatives, all kinds of chemicals that may be dangerous. I mean, recently in the news there were reports of medications that had been recalled because some ingredients were known and proven to cause cancer.
Okay, so real quick, give me like 2 examples of medicines that you feel are toxic-free.
Well, there are almost no medications out there that are toxic. There's only one company, and I joined the board of advisors of this company because I was actually, like the owners that created it, I was desperate to find medications that were safe for my kids.
Yeah.
You know, my kids are, I avoid medications as much as possible, but sometimes you have to give them a Tylenol or an ibuprofen for pain or for fever, right? And my son used to blow up with this kind of medication, with Motrin especially, and it was one of the dyes that was causing it, right? So it is so important to have medications that are free of toxins, and there's only one company doing it right now. And my hope is that everybody's going to start doing it because it
educating themselves on how to eat better and feel
what's
better.
the name of that company?
Genexa.
Genexa. Okay, so I'm going to Google them. Thank you so much. You've taught us so much.
So informative.
And we still have so much to learn, so we need to check out his book. Dr. Junger's New York Times bestselling book, Clean, is available now, and you can learn so much more about this. We'll be right back with more Daily Pop after this. Thank you so much.